Good morning and welcome to My Legal Advocate, hosted by the law firm of Marecki and Medolla. And I'm here today with partner Juan Medolla. How are you, Juan?
I'm doing well, Blanca. Thank you. How are you today?
I am doing amazing. I'm actually really excited about today's topic. I think it's not only important to know the laws, but it's also very important as a public safety message. And I want to remind everyone that Marecki and Medolla is the gold sponsor of the Laws of Life webcast network. This is their second year of being the gold sponsor, so it's very exciting. And the bottom line is that this firm is always in your corner. If you need help, you can reach out to them anytime by calling them or just looking at their website, which is at the top of the screen, mylegaladvocate.com. So Juan, today's topic is texting and driving. What is the current law on texting?
Well, right now, the law in Florida, which was passed in July of 2019, it states that a police officer can actually pull you over simply for being on your phone. It is now a primary offense to be driving while texting or just being distracted by looking at your phone.
Okay. Now, what's the rule? If I am stopped, I don't get the license. Am I committing a violation?
Yeah. So it used to be that, for example, if you had to, if you were speeding and a police officer pulled you over, and they also noticed that you were on your phone, now texting or having your phone in your hand used to be a primary offense. So now, if a police officer just notices you on your phone, then they can pull you over just for that. You can get a ticket simply for being on your phone, whether you were speeding or broke any other law. Just being on your phone itself is breaking the new statute.
Wow. And what about if I'm at a red light, though?
Well, if you're at a red light, that's the one exception. Now, the reality is that most people, myself included, have a difficult time having the discipline of only picking up my phone when I'm at a red light. So I try to do everything possible to not even have it in a cup holder. I try to keep it in my bag or away from me so I'm not tempted. But the one exception is at a red light or at a stop sign.
What exactly does it mean when the statute now discusses that texting is a primary offense? What does that mean for us?
Right. So if I was speeding and a police officer pulls me over, then that itself is the primary offense. I was speeding. Now, if the police officer then noticed I was on my phone, he'll say, well, I pulled you over speeding, but I also noticed you're on your phone, so I'm going to give you a ticket for that. It used to be that if a police officer is just annoyed to see or sees that I'm distracted on my phone, they couldn't pull me over if I wasn't speeding or wasn't breaking any other law. Now, the fact that I'm holding the phone in my hand while I'm driving itself will get me pulled over.
So in other words, that's probable cause for a valid stop as well, right?
Yeah, just you having your phone in your hand while your car is moving, that in itself is citable.
So, I mean, if you take one law away from today's show, texting is a primary offense and you can be pulled over for that. It does not have to be secondary. So why is cell phone usage still placing drivers at risk, even in the hands-free mode?
Well, texting and driving, there's been studies, for example, University of Iowa did a study, why talking on a cell phone affects driving performance. Researchers used computerized experiments and tracked eye movements. They were trying to essentially mimic what it would be like, how one would be distracted by texting. And the subjects were asked just simple true or false questions. And that simple amount of time, or that low amount of time that it took to answer the question, it took their eyes off the road for double the time. Like they were distracted by a simple question, let alone looking down at your phone.
That's unbelievable. Just so this is a matter of life and death. Guys, cell phone hands-free, you need to focus. Any amount of disengagement from the road places you at risk as a driver. And what is the quantity of accidents that are occurring right now because of cell phone usage, Juan?
Well, actually the National Safety Council, their latest numbers were 1.6 million car accidents every year are caused by texting and driving. Actually, no, sorry, 1.6 million accidents, 390,000 of them by texting and driving. So literally 1 in 4 car accidents are now caused by cell phone usage.
That is unbelievable. 25% of accidents are being caused by texting, and 1.6 million due to cell phone usage overall. Unbelievable. So is texting more likely to actually cause an accident than drunk driving?
Believe it or not, it's actually by a lot. It's 6 times more likely that you'll get into an accident from texting than drunk driving. Just logically speaking, I see texting and driving as driving blindfolded. If you're looking down at your phone, looking up and down, you seem like you think you have it, but you're doing 2 things at once. Well, if you're drunk driving, you're still trying to do that one thing of driving the car. Not suggesting that drunk driving is in any way anybody should be trying, but texting, not looking at the road, I'll take the guy who's trying over being blindfolded.
Unbelievable. That is a shocking statistic that texting is 6 times more likely to cause an accident than drunk driving. Now, when you are texting, what are the statistics showing on how many seconds our attention is being taken off the road?
So believe it or not, most people think that it's just for a split second. Oftentimes, the average is you're looking down at your phone for 5 seconds. You were distracted for a full 5 seconds of time. So if you're driving 55 miles per hour, that's the length of a football field that you've driven without paying attention to the road. So anything that happened in that time, you would not have seen coming.
Unbelievable. So 5 seconds of distraction at 55 miles is the equivalent of a football field. Trust me, there's plenty of time to have an accident in that short time period. And how are teenagers falling into these statistics?
Unfortunately, teenagers today have never known a life without cell phone use. The internet and the phone is just kind of part of their daily lives. So it's kind of become part, like another body part is the phone. So teens are unfortunately 4 times more likely to get into an accident, and 21% of those accidents were due to cell phone distraction.
Unbelievable. Now, how does a police officer prove that a driver was texting?
Well, unfortunately, some of these accidents are being caused are so bad that they end up admitting it to the police officer oftentimes at the scene. And if they admit it at the scene, that will end up in the police report. So, when we sign up a case, I was seriously injured, I believe the person was on their cell phone, I only got this piece of paper, not the accident report, just an exchange of information. And then when we order the accident report, and we see right on there, driver admitted to being on his cell phone, you're looking up an address or texting a friend, it will be just like that in there. Other times, if that isn't in there, but we suspect that they may have been distracted because, we can download black box data from a car, say a brake was never applied. You could see at what point a brake was applied prior to an accident. Cars have black box data, how you may have heard how airplanes have them. So if somebody rear ends somebody without touching their brake, I'm going to see that and suspect that they were distracted. And what was most likely to distract you? It's your phone. So I could then, in a lawsuit, subpoena the records, and you'll see the time that the data on the phone was being activated. So say an accident was around 1:41, the brake was never applied, the data was activated from 1:38 to 1:45. I can make a pretty strong argument that that person was on their phone, and I have all of the circumstantial evidence to show that.
That's pretty powerful. So, we all have to be extremely careful. Now, if the driver is deemed to have been texting, what is the likelihood that they'll be found guilty and responsible for fault in this accident?
Well, in the area that I do, we always have to show who is liable. So, on a rear end hit, there's a statute that says there's a presumption, a rebuttable presumption that the person who rear-ended somebody was responsible. But now say you have a T-bone hit and both accuse the other one of running the red light. And we don't have any witnesses. We just have 2 people at an intersection. One ran the red light. Now, if I can show that my client was not on his phone and I can prove that the other person was, now I have that edge of who was more likely to have been running the red light. So in almost every time, whoever was on their phone is going to be found liable.
Okay, excellent. Well, this is critical information. Everybody continue to keep in mind Marecki and Medolla, my legal advocate. Now, you continue to provide complimentary review of people's car insurance policies. How do they get those to you?
Definitely. So there's a few ways. You either email me directly. My email is Juan. It's JUAN at mylegaladvocate.com. The website is the same. It's mylegaladvocate.com. You can there's a section where case value calculator. There's also a contact us section. If you either call me, email me, or fill out that section, we will look through your insurance policy and tell you what's in it. And I can tell you that I was, even as an attorney, until I started practicing in this area of law, I did not know exactly what my insurance policy meant. It's really confusing. A lot of people would say terms like Florida's a no-fault state. They may be told that by a police officer at the scene of an accident, and most people don't have a clue of what's going on. So just, I would be glad to, at no cost, review your insurance policy and make recommendations. And we'll get back to you within 24 hours.
That's incredible. I think this is important. Everybody, free review of your car policy. So if, God forbid, you do have a car accident, you can reach out to Marecki and Medolla, or you can go to their website. You're also doing Zoom video conferencing consultations. Yep. And so you basically have Marecki and Medolla as the attorney that you can contact 7 days a week. Tell them I sent you. Tell them Juan sent you. Tell them you saw. It doesn't matter. Just call them, because they will treat you like family, and they will help you and make sure that you're taking the right steps to protect yourself in the unfortunate event that you are involved in any type of personal injury. So this is a really important public service message. Let's remember not to text and drive, not even to look at your cell phone. Focus on that road. Stay safe. And Juan, what's your #1 law of safety for the day? What do you take from this?
If anything, I would say do everything possible to not even tempt yourself to be distracted to use the phone. I know that phones are set up in a way, Facebook, all those things are addicting. They get in your head to want to check your phone every couple seconds. If you have it available, you're gonna check it. Try not to have your phone near you, or you're increasing your odds of an accident at least by 4 times.
Juan, this is such a great message. Thank you so much for all you do for the community in bringing so many laws of the road, educating our community, and being a sponsor of the Webcast Network and networking. And hope you have a great weekend, Juan, and we'll see you next Friday for My Legal Advocate.
Thank you. Thank you, Block. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody.